I'm amazed by all you do. I'm amazed you came through for me. Even in my darkest moment, Papa, you lift up my world. I'm amazed by how you care. I'm amazed you're so full of love. You've been good from distant past, and yet you're still doing good. Oh, Binigwe, oh, Binigwe, oh, Binigwe, oh, Binigwe. 247 every day you come for me. I had no essence, I had no meaning, Lord. You showed up for me. What did I do? Surface kind of love. What did I do? See that's right. And what did I do? Deserve this kind of love. What did I do to see that you're right? Oh, 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 I'm amazed. I'm amazed you came through for me. I'm amazed. Oh, Binigwe, oh, Binigwe, oh, Binigwe. The light in my darkest hour. You're the light in my darkest hour. Oh, Binigwe. Okay. Welcome to another wonderful, exciting moment. This is live series with Olarotimi Olukola, and with me again is our very own wonderful Wole Gabriel. Please let's celebrate him. Welcome. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, by name Wole Gabriel, and I want to thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you. Look at how he's acting all nice, as if he's always nice. Anyway, Sha is well. You're welcome. All right, so I think we had a lot of things we talked about last week, and based on those intricacies, we've been able to see one or two developments, questions that may have come up, and possibly things that can be upgraded on. But first of all, I'd like to specially invite you this evening by 5 p.m. to our prayer meeting, just in case you're within the city of Kafanchan and its environs. We cannot overemphasize the effect of prayer. And so if you find yourself around this environment, Kafanchan or its environment, well, do make do to find yourself at Shalom Christian Assembly Church Hall. We're there within this period of the rainy season, trusting that the Lord will make the weather better. And a shout out to our wonderful Father, Reverend Gabriel Olukola, for making that available to us. So do meet us by 5 p.m. So this live broadcast is going to be very, very short but impactful. So before we go on, there's something Wole said that struck me last week, and I'm going to just say it very clearly. We talked about prayer and the musician. All right, so that's the major part where he said that a lot of us exchange prayers, right? Exchange prayer for singing. When it's time to pray, we begin to sing, and so you cannot just drop a little thing on that, and then we'll go through today's.
Okay, I think when we were talking last week, we were talking about emphasis on so many things, and I said everything is specific in this life. It's the same way every man needs to be specific with his goal. You don't interchange where you pray, and you don't interchange prayer for music. So most times we have problem with musicians, especially people that like feeling they can sing. instrumentalists that if they say pray, you hear someone, they say pray for God to help you. Oh, my help has come. Aye, aye, aye.
Okay, interesting. I like the fact that my guys are growing. To be very sincere, I was blessed by the last broadcast, and I'd like us to tip off on something very, very dicey. I know you're not prepared for this one. Okay, on Sunday, we all saw an update online, and if you notice, during this period, we are dealing with most of our musicians because basically it looked as if these are areas that are being downplayed within the. And just to throw that, just in case you're interested in joining the music department for Glory House, you could also meet us today within the meeting place. Trust me, it's going to be a wonderful experience. All right, so he gave his instrumentalists and his musicians cars on Sunday. How did you feel about it? Let me hear your reaction.
Okay, that is wow. Really, that's how to treat instrumentalists, I can tell you, because a laborer is worthy of his or her wages. I
Okay.
can say that. Really, you cannot give someone that kind of thing until you are seeing consistency and sacrifice. And really, I can tell from most of those guys, because I follow them online, Marcus Hassan, the Celebration Church in Abuja. Really, those guys have really been consistent. Surely, you must know churches in Abuja and how instrumentalists behave there. Some of them
Yeah.
flip from, they jump from places. And these guys has really been consistent with those things. So I believe really they deserve that. That's
Okay.
something I can
So now, as regarding that, now let's go to the area where we talk about instrumentalists being paid. What's your perspective? He was not expecting this one.
Okay, now, firstly, being paid. Did you learn the instrument for free? That is the first question you're supposed to ask.
So let's ask you, did you learn it for free?
At the point, I paid for some trainings.
Yes.
Yes, it started free at a point.
Good.
But at a point, I still paid for it. And whatever you have given sacrifice to, you paid for it. Sacrifice is not easy because we know most people, most youths now are lazy to
Yeah.
learn anything. So whatever you have given your time to learn is worth paying. The same way someone will pay to go and learn sewing in a
Tailoring shop.
in a tailoring shop. It's the same way you to put your time and sacrifice days, hours. So I believe you can get paid for it. But in the kingdom, we will say you don't pay. Instead, you get rewarded for it.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you mean is that you get value for it and you should be honored for it.
Yes.
Well, I have said that many times, and I want to just hear your perspective because most times, let's be very plain, we hear men of God speak, right?
Yes,
We hear men of God speak, we hear elders speak, and so it looks as if those who are at the hidden corners are not allowed to say their perspective about church systems and what they think should make the system better. So I'd just like to stress a little bit as pertaining that. Do you mean that people who are instrumentalists in particular systems should be paid for it? What are you trying to say?
So now, firstly,
Let me ask you first. Are you being paid? You play for me, Sha.
I'm not being paid for now.
He said
Yes.
for now, Jesus.
Yes, but I'm not being paid. Really. Though it's because out of sacrifice and there are other things that
Yes.
cut across it. If
Okay.
it was another person, it would have been a different issue.
Okay, so why are you not being paid? I'm trying to ask.
Just leave it. That one is on another. It's something for another day.
Calm down first. All right. So all right. This is actually my perspective. I'm happy we're having this banter. Okay. First of all, I am of the perspective that the Bible says the gift of a man will make a way for him and bring him before kings. And as long as that thing is a gift fashioned and developed, it deserves to be rewarded.
True.
Nevertheless, I believe that if within the constraints of where God has planted you, you are to serve God with your gifts as any other person would. But now, when it comes to making value out of the skill you have acquired, I really personally think, in my opinion, now am I saying that you pay instrumentalists or no? No, most of them who are brought up from very good backgrounds may not ask you for a pay, but the way you treat them, the way you talk to them, the way you address them, once in a while, the love you show them will make them know that what they do is valuable. Because, for example, let's say most of them take time to learn these things. All right, most of them will have to go for rehearsals while others are doing whatever they're doing, businesses and all. Once in a while, I don't think it's bad for you to appreciate your instrumentalist. I really don't think
it is important, man.
Yes.
If you want to get the best out of any instrumentalist, you need to appreciate it.
Yes, personally, I don't think they should be paid salary.
Yes.
But I think that anybody, not just the instrumentalist, actually,
music, generally.
every department, and that's why I want to salute systems that organize meetings like workers award events and all of it. Because the truth is once payment begins to come in as an idea to anything you do in the kingdom, including preaching, one thing is this: if you're not careful, the spirit of mammon has a way of taking you. So much so that you will begin to chase the cloud of where you are highly paid more than looking for where God is calling you to serve. These are two things. Now, in my own perspective, I will always say there is a spiritual aspect to ministry, and there is also what we call a professional dimension. Fortunately, a lot of us hold on to the spiritual part so much so that the value that comes with the professional dimension is dropped. And also, a lot of us also hold value to the professional dimension that comes with the charges and all that, so much so that their spiritual life gets attacked. But in a normative system, it doesn't matter what. I believe that every system, well, in growing stage, there are things that can be condoned. But knowing that these people playing will have to make definite constraint, I see no reason why once in a while, a kind of reward system should be put in together, get together, gifts, awards, you understand, that will help boost their distance. Can you add a little bit to that?
Okay, I think something just came to my head.
Okay.
And I thought of it. Really, if you put pay at this point, you've made it a servant master work.
Not a relationship.
Not a relationship. And that's one thing most people, especially in the outside world, believe. But it's wrong. But like he said earlier, you really need to learn to appreciate people. You really need to learn to appreciate.
I'm sorry, I'm seeing a question here, and I want to throw it. I think this question is coming from Cyril, and by well, some of you don't know, Cyril is a day of God. He's a comedian, so he's saying, should ushers be paid? You can see the question there. Should ushers be paid since they stand throughout the service? So what do you say?
Hey, talk. I'll put it on a general note. Whatever is God's work can be rewarded, but cannot be paid for sometimes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
That's because if you put payment at this point, like I buttressed earlier, if you put payment, you put it on a servant master work. And once someone places you under pay, you are not doing anything willingly.
Yes, willingness dies.
Yes. So once someone starts paying you for anything, there is no willingness. So one thing is that you must do it wholeheartedly, and sometimes rewards come in. That's why in most of these big churches, there are times they give award, and there are times they have dinner nights and other things where people come to clear out their distance and get happy. And the main reason for church is not for you. That's one thing I want us in the church generally to have, is that the church is a place for family, not a place for work.
Okay, well, to him, he's saying the church is much more a place to build family system.
Yes.
Not just work.
And the church is divided into so many platforms. It can be professional, and it can still be family-wise. But if we carry much more of that professional nature, you will have to pay for everything you do. And that's where you might know that there is problem. So one thing in the church I believe is that you can be rewarded once in a while, and at the same time still do God's work willingly. If there's no willingness in the work, and I believe
it is that there were some men who were workers. Yeah. So what did he do? The Bible says he hired them for a price. They had an agreement, and then the Bible says in the noon he went and saw others lazying about, not doing anything. So what did he do? The Bible says he hired them and said, I will give you this amount. There was no agreement, but he said, I will give you this amount. Then in the evening he went and saw others willing. They were not even ready. They were just willing to work. At the end of the work, he paid every one of them the same thing. Now this tells you that God is not a careless master.
Yes.
God is interested in your well-being. But when we come into a system much more with the idea, especially musicians, with the idea of, if I don't get paid, I would not do this. Now, the truth is this: when systems have money to pay you, they'll pay you. But guess what? Do you know, within that system, there are other people who are also as skilled as you, who have come to serve God with their heart, and they will always get the best of God.
True.
They will always get the best of God. And so we are not canceling the fact that paying is bad. If God has helped you get to that point, it's not a bad thing. But having the ideology that you must always be paid to carry out, I think there's a problem there.
It's wrong.
I think there's a problem there. Well, that's just a banter for another day. But let me ask you directly. I know we are going all cringy, but let's go through. So, how, as a musician, how have you been able to handle matters that concern, what are the pitfalls you've noticed in leadership within a choir or music system that you think should be checked? Now, I don't want to speak generically, but I want to say from your perspective. You've led choirs before. You've led the music. So if you were going to counsel somebody to raise a choir, what are the things you think the person should look out for?
Okay, I think the first thing I would advise any leader raising a choir, especially from the start, to do, because I've observed some choirs and some other places, and some people might understand what I'm talking about. Please don't look for people who are good at the beginning.
Don't look for overskilled people at the beginning.
Yes, look for beginners. If you ever look for people who are already skillful in the work, you cannot control them.
Whoa.
Yes, because
Sorry.
they will give you their own terms and conditions instead of you giving them your own terms and conditions. And it's very important, because if you always look for professionals at the beginning instead of training beginners, professionals has their limit with you, but beginners are willing people who are ready to stake themselves to learn and to still stay with you. Yes, because especially most big ministries and churches make that mistake early. If you don't have anybody you are working on early, you have problem later. I'm the one telling you.
Whoa.
Because later, when they are, especially if they have found their footing, and I think it's becoming a problem, especially now we are having musicians that are already becoming known, and other people in the choir too are already low, and you know that person as the head figurehead that does things, and he starts traveling around. Already the choir is already becoming scattered. So one, you need to look for people already who are beginners and work on them very well, to a point that one, pride will not enter them. At the same time as you're working them, pride will not enter them, and they will know what they are doing, and at the same time they'll focus on your work as much as God's work.
So in your counsel, you're trying to say that the person should not just focus basically on skilled people first.
Yes.
Okay?
Instead, look for people that don't know but want to learn.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay, well, in my take, I think I would buy that idea. And the reason is this. Okay, personally, I have had my encounters. I've had my encounters around a lot of people who would want to come telling you this, telling you that, especially when it looks as if they would shine with you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The idea of, hey, we will shine and all of that. And then definitely, with time, you begin to understand that these people did not come out of a passion or love for God. And permit me to say, I think this is a problem with most instrumentalists. Most do not come because they love God.
Yeah.
If there is no music, you're joking.
Yo.
You're joking. All right, let's talk about the musician and the female folks. Yes. Have you had any experiences? Share.
Yeah, there are a few. There are a few.
Okay.
Okay. Particularly to the male and the female, or generally.
Okay.
Okay. I think last week we talked about that, but we just
Scratched it a
on
little
it.
bit. Yes.
Generally, it's 50-50 on the whole side.
Okay.
If you are popular as a musician, as a man, you have the female flocking.
Okay.
Same thing as instrumentalists. They say most of the people that do not fear God in the church generally are instrumentalists. And see, I will not lie to you, instrumentalists are one of the people that don't fear God.
You don't mean it.
If you see instrumentalists that fear God, kai, really, that boy did not grow from. They hold him very well. Really, I can tell you that, because
Okay.
see, to get people that are very straightforward and their lives will be stable, who are ministers, on musicians are very hard presently in this time,
Wow.
because the temptation, once you are rising generally, the temptation keeps increasing, and we are having most youths now who do not have self-discipline and constraint in
Oh.
their lives, because some people say we follow the crowd as they go, as they hot way they go,
Okay.
but at a point, that's why if they reach a point in their life, nobody cares about them again and their words become valueless. And that's why I would advise any instrumentalist or any musician generally, please watch out for the opposite sex. If you are a man, watch out for the woman. And if you're a woman, watch out for the man, because whoever you keep, because generally you will have friends that are the opposite sex. And if you don't have them as friends, you will have problem. I can tell you
So
that.
it means you cannot stop them from coming around
You cannot stop them from coming around you. But you just need to discern the right ones that will come around you in order to help your life. Because personal experience, there are people that have come around me that really are the ones that saved my life. Yes. Because I'm not going to lie to you, there are dirty, there are people that, if not for God, your life would have, I can tell you my life would have been a story. So, but there are people around me that, from the opposite sex, that told me, Wole, watch out for this person. I know so and so person.
It's not coming
it's
for
not
your
coming for good. Watch out for this thing and just be careful. And that was what saved me. So you will not stop them from coming, but please try to discern the right ones and keep them around you. And an idle man is the devil workshop. You must know that thing. It's very important. Because you will always have lonely times. And trust me, instrumentalists are guys that like flirting. Or musicians are like, there are people that just like hanging around people. But sometimes you just need to be careful of the people you hang around. So, because loneliness is not nice, I can tell you. There are people that like being lonely, but not all your life. At a point, you want to get married, and that's another time you will really meet people in making decisions. So, I think that's...
Okay, now you've started talking about marriage. So let's go there. Let's go there a little bit. You see, if you notice, we are being very frank in this thing. All right, so let's be plain. Actually, you're a Christian brother, so let's go to where love wheels will soon be coming up. So let's talk a little bit. Let's say you saw a sister in the choir or in the worship team and you like her, not carelessly, but this is somebody you want to end up with, and you are the leader of the choir. How would you go about it? I don't think you
that question, I don't expect that kind of question. But you see, that one is on his own. That thing has really, I think there are experiences of people I've seen.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard of stories like that where a leader was trying, a friend of mine told me, say he was trying to get the lead. And he was in the choir. The reason he was in the choir was to get the lead. And their leader too. The mistake was he went and told the leader. And the leader too went on his own listing. So, in order to get the person, because see, some people are there for, the reason is why you entering the relationship.
Okay.
First. Because you cannot tell me you will be dating a lady in your choir and your pastor will not know, especially if you want to marry her.
Beautiful.
Yes, and I believe there are age for marriage, and there are age for relationship. If you want to date, make it official. Let it be that there are specific people
that
knows.
And
because I was watching something the other day, and you need to define the relationship you're entering. It's important. Okay. You cannot just tell someone I love you. What is the essence of the love first? What if you are loving me? What is the reason for loving me? Yes, personally, that's why I personally don't really have, as much as I like people. If I don't see what I want, especially what I'm looking at as a target on you, as much as I like you, I can just be hanging around you, bro. I will not
hanging around.
I can have you as friend. What I mean as hanging is that I can have you as friend. I can have you as a friend, okay. But I will not ask you out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I meet the person I want, I will ask the person.
Okay.
So vision is tied to whatever you want. So you don't just run into things like that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Personally, I think I like what you said. All right. But first of all, if you have a question and you're following, I like to indulge that you drop in the comment section. Actually, on our group right now, there is a hot question coming out. And the question, I think we're having much more ladies responding to it, okay? And the question is, what is the weirdest way you've asked a sister out? So let me throw it a little bit. Well, maybe we'll do it next time. You say no.
No, no.
Okay. Actually, to be very sincere, I think I want to ask. I want to pressure
We
you
are, we
saying
are following me, Mr.
yes, good. So now, what do you think about singers right now marrying people outside the country? Now, not drawing any name conclusions, but I think we've had 3 rapid succession. What do you think? You know, what's your opinion about the whole thing? Let me just hear you out.
So, firstly, I'm not God because they must have prayed to God before they asked those kind of those ladies out.
Okay, okay.
Secondly, they know the choice of what they want.
Yeah,
Yes, because someone will not just run to someone like that without
without a choice or a
without
conviction.
something,
Yeah,
without a conviction. You know what it means marrying a lady outside entails
yeah,
because of their culture there.
yeah.
And Nigeria, there are things we believe there they don't believe. So one, you must know that really is God that sent you,
Okay.
and your conviction must be straight. And there are things they must have observed that they can flow up with this person, and this person match with what my vision.
My convictions.
Yes, so that's it.
Okay, so for you, it's not about greener pasture. It's not about.
Surely there are selfish interest in it.
Really, you really think they are selfish interest?
I believe that because
Okay.
see, generally human beings in this world, I can tell you there is no human being that does not have any selfish interest.
Talk to me. Let me be sure.
Yes, it's true. It's
Okay.
true because marrying someone outside, there are things it entails.
Okay.
Let's say for instance, you marry a lady that is not in Nigeria, automatically she's a citizen of your country and you're a citizen of hers.
Okay.
So which there are other selfish interest in it. So that's what I can say. But aside that, their vision is the priority.
Okay.
And those kind of people already want. They already have money. So it might not be totally all those things that matter, but they know their conviction from wherever they got it from.
Okay, so let me try
So
you.
we are still coming up.
Do you want God to bring your own from Nigeria, from outside this country?
I cannot answer that question. Let's reach that place first.
Okay. All right, actually, but it's been a wonderful one talking with you today. Let me drop this last question. All right. Right now there is a trend. There's a global trend. God is doing wonderful and marvelous things around the nations. God is bringing up singers, musicians, people who will bless the world, and all of that. Where do you see yourself in the next few years as pertaining your music career?
Okay.
And I want this to be very intentional.
Tom, I think from the start, let me just tell you a few experiences before I reach there.
Okay.
From the start, personally, I did not want to sing.
Okay.
I just prefer playing the piano, and that was what I wanted God to do with me. But at a point, there were convictions I had last year, and I prayed about it, and I had a leading that I should focus particularly both on the keyboard and
On the
singing
music.
and the music. So generally, I would want, as much as I would want to sing, I still would want to be able to be someone who can take people as a manager, to carry people instead and work on them, and really they can become global gospel.
You want to manage artists?
Yes, gospel wise.
Okay. So anyway, I think I'd like to draw the curtain on that because the end of this majorly, like I said while we started, we want to hear the perspective of men of God and others, but we really most times don't sit down to hear from those who get the job done behind the background. And can I just say this very clearly? Just in case you're here and you're an instrumentalist, I'd like to shout out to you. And the reason I like to do this specifically is because most people don't see the labors you put through. Most people don't see the efforts you guys put through to get things done. Technical guys. Most people we just come in and we're shouting, is the mic set, is the sound working, is the keyboard working and all of that. But we don't I would like to shout out to almost every guy who has worked on our technical team from the very on start. I think we've had, there's a guy called B2, right?
Yes.
B2, yes. Some
Who
of
is
you,
dead?
if you know him, you can drop it in the comment section.
He's dead.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yeah. Well, that he's passed on would be to
Mr.
you know,
Mr. Steven Seri.
Mr. Steven Cyril, Ade of God. Yeah, you can see him in the comment section. I can see him making noise up and
Idea
down.
of God.
Ade of God, shout out. Yes, Wole Gabriel too. And there's a guy too, Ezra or something like that. Somebody like that. All right. And every instrumentalist out there, most times people don't see that the honor we receive or the blessings that comes from God's word is part of your label. And I'm sorry, but we trust the Lord that the narrative keeps getting better. And I would like to shout out to God's servant Apostle Emmanuel Uren for being such a huge encouragement, and to every
Thank
church
you,
and every system that values their instrumentalists and the musicians. I was once one, like some of you may not know. I played the piano, I played the drum, I played the bass, I played the lead, I played the sax, I blew the sax, I played the violin. Yes, played the violin too. Started learning the flute before, and I just want to imagine that my whole life is that way, and I am contented with just being in the shadows and ensuring people are blessed. Listen to me. The Bible says God is the rewarder. And I'd like to say thank you, Bro Wole. You've blessed us within the last 2 weeks. It's been such an exciting. It's not about being right, to checking whether what you said was right scripturally or not. It's about just ensuring that what you're saying, that you're heard. And I'd like to say thank you for being
Thank you, sir.
plain. Thank you for being honorable. Well, in the next 15 minutes, prayer meeting should be starting at Shalom Christian Assembly. If you're around the environment, please join through. And I am sure that your life will not remain the same. Do sit tight and get blessed. God bless you. See you next time. Remember to share this video. See you next week on live series. It may be something else. It may be love. It may be relationship. Whatever it is. But trust me, it's going to be frank talks. God bless you. I love and celebrate you. Be blessed. Thank you very much.